Welcome to Out of the Blank.
Welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast, Mr. J. Mooers. It's nice to have you back on the show.
Hello, it's nice to be back.
Besides the newspaper hat, what has been in your realm of the world, I would say? How's everything been?
Okay, I guess I would start by saying I have not gotten a haircut lately, which is one reason why I'm wearing the awesome newspaper cap. Plus, I'm selling papers, so if you'd like a couple, I can get them for you.
Is that because you don't like your barber or you just haven't had time?
That is my wife likes my hair long, and I'm in that in-between phase. So I'm like, is it going to make it to long, or am I going to get annoyed enough and go get it cut?
Kind of like a kid in puberty. It's like that awkward stage.
Yeah, my hair is kind of in puberty right now. It's got pimples. It's moody. It's just terrible.
I never had the pimple phase, but there was definitely like, if you look at like an elementary version of myself and then a high school version of myself, they're like, holy crap, you lost a lot of weight. I was like, yeah, because I was a short kid that didn't know what calories were. And then I started lifting and then I got taller and hit my growth spurt. The next thing you know, bam, if you eat a bag of Doritos now, you're going to gain like 50 pounds.
If I eat a bag of Doritos right now, I'll gain 50 pounds. Should we do that on the air?
If you want. Do you have a bag of Doritos?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're only good for campouts anyway, like chili cookouts or something like that. So don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't worry about it.
This is Out of the Blank. We come with finger sandwiches.
Or what about the little wieners wrapped in croissants?
I don't know. That's just too fancy.
Pigs in a blanket, too
fancy.
Mean,
if you're going to have guests over, it really, your snack depends on if you like your guests or not. Like if you're having the in-laws over, you want to bring out the fine china. But if you have, friends over or something like that, you're like, oh, they'll take, crab dip or something from a gas station.
So wait a minute. It's fine china for the people you don't want there, and then it's garbage for the people you do want there?
Well, now you're getting into a whole different category where we talk about if you like your in-laws or you don't. I feel like you have to at that point. You just got to put on a brave face, I would say, or a deep smile and just kind of.
In general, I think everyone's just going to feel lucky if they show up and I happen to pull out the paper plates. So,
I mean, everyone uses paper plates now. Like, I don't even understand. Like, I use one bowl and then one spoon, and I just like rewash it over and over again. It saves money. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm cheap, or maybe I'm just cost efficient, or maybe I'm trying to save the planet. Either way, all of those excuses work.
They definitely are excuses. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What about work wise? What's going on? Art, J art.
Work wise. Okay. J art. Well, other than the always onslaught of projects, from this year has definitely been heavy on book covers. I think everyone last year had a lot of time to write books, and now they're all looking for book covers.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. When you said that, I was like, wait a minute, like I thought books kind of phased out, but that's true. During the pandemic, I was gonna write one, but now that you said that, I might as well just throw it out the door.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to make a cover for you right now anyway, so.
Okay. I didn't need a cover. I was just gonna put it on that text font.
They do on Microsoft. You're one of those guys. Not even like a picture of you, like thinking.
No, a black and white portrait with a rose hanging out of my mouth.
Yeah, maybe with like the thorn piercing your lip.
Did you ever do that with your kid? Like when you had,
pierce his lip with a thorn?
No. When you had a baby, did you ever take those black and white photos where they're naked and they're like doing an awkward pose?
Oh my God. My wife loves those calendars. I call them squishy face babies. Look at those squishy face babies.
Oh, I start getting flashbacks now. My grandmom taking me to like a mall to go get the photo thing. Like, yeah, stop messing with your shirt. Keep your shirt tucked in. You had to take those awkward photos. But like, I didn't until I was like, I think it's 12.
Ooh,
maybe less. I don't know. Maybe probably 10. Because I remember wearing a
squishy baby face until you were 12.
I mean, I still have baby face. That's the only reason why I keep the chin strap.
Yeah.
Well, book cover wise, you got any exciting ones that you did, or is it
I
all
just
kind of
did a I just did a cover for a guy writing some Lovecraft fiction. So drawing Lovecraft monsters on a book cover is always fun. I just did one for Golden Age comics, so I got to draw some of those old school pre-Superman superheroes. Um, and I got a couple more on the list. Not as exciting, but I'll say they're exciting because in case they're listening to the podcast, your book covers are going to be super exciting.
I don't know how big you think my show is, but I appreciate it. I really do.
It's ginormous.
It's got a little momentum to it.
But I'm also working on my RPG, which you've probably seen me posting things sporadically on social media. My tabletop RPG is officially stepping into finalizing the book mode. We've been play testing it, working out the kinks. But I have guys that were playing the game and punching holes in the game, like trying to figure out where things don't work. And I've fixed it up, tweaked it up, and we're officially in the home stretch. I'm hoping to have the book done by maybe mid-spring.
What would be like a kink, or I would say that would stop or would be maybe hindering the progress of the board
Like
game?
let's say you were like making your character and you're one of those people who has a lot of experience playing these kind of games, and you see an ability and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take that ability, I'm going to crank it up to its highest level, and I'm going to show him that I can ruin everything he throws at me with that ability. Just like finding a balance.
You just had me thinking of all the times I waited for someone to put up cheat codes for a video game like the day
It's
after it came
basically
out.
that. Yeah, it's the tabletop version of that.
Do you respect that as the creator,
I
or do you find that
well,
annoying?
that's kind of what I want them to be doing right now, because right now it's play testing. I'm not just playing the game. I want them to try to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I have three groups. I have one group which is mostly people who have never played before. So it's so I can see how accessible the game is to the people who don't have experience playing tabletop role-playing games.
Those are called noobs.
Noobs. Then I
Newbies.
got my advanced group, which I actually turned them into a high level group because I want to see how high level stuff works in the game. So they have like insane abilities and they're on very dangerous quests and stuff like that. So that's one of my playtests. And I just started up a third playtest group with a group of guys that are hardcore role players. Like they play anywhere from 10 to 15 games a week. Like I think like they live at the table with dice and paper and stuff. But they are going to play an all evil group, so I can see how that works in the game.
I was trying to pull this thing up because what you just said reminded me of this video, and I know you've seen the meme for it. Because it's like, I don't know, it's all over the place. I'm gonna see if I can play it. It's crazy because now that I figured out how to like pull up videos and stuff like that, I like kind of pulling it up. So when I make a reference, people just don't go, "What the fuck is he talking about?" It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we're used to that though.
Hey, the show has the name for a reason.
That's right.
I'm surprised it's made it this far, to be 100% honest with you.
Ooh, it's like the little engine that could, right?
Well, it's like I keep getting guests. I'm like, wow, people, even scientists are like, well, I don't mind it. It's like, okay.
Right.
This is the meme you've probably seen.
I don't see it yet. There it is. Did I see a foot? Yeah.
So he's playing a video game. So this guy got huge from this. Is it playing the sound or no?
Don't hear it, but it's not playing either.
Still don't have it perfected after me talking all that trash and how good I'm getting at pulling up videos. At least I can find them faster. Before it took me like an hour. I was like, I can't find it. All right, here it is.
They made this. A leaf. Was it poisonous? I think you press L2. I have to block the sun. Finally, some action.
Steven, when you get so fat.
Emotion. Emotional damage.
You want some therapy?
You probably could just hold.
That's reminding me of when you're describing the play levels, because that's how it is when you're playing a board game. When you're playing any type of game, there's the easy, there's the, or no, it's novice, amateur, pro, and then like elite to the extreme. And I'm like, well, when you're designing these games, what do you qualify as? Like, okay, so I know you're in a different sense. So when you're playing a video game and you're going from beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever, you're thinking of, okay, so now the enemies, we have to dumb them down or increase their thing. Your whole thing is thinking you want to make it fun for people who are just starting the game for the first time and don't have any experience playing board games. So maybe a family game, like it can be, but also like a Dungeons and Dragons type as well too, which isn't really, it's more like covering potholes, right? Like you're just looking for the cracks that someone that could easily, not
Abuse the system. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because then if you have a novice playing a pro, you want them to be at the same level. It's not really a difficulty setting. It's more in an aspect of just making the game kind of fluid in its aspect of being able to be playable and entertainable at the same time without people just abusing the hell out of it.
So like with my high level group, like I've pretty much set up the mission. Like I don't know how they're going to get out of this. Like I'm sending very bad situations to them. And I'm like, if they can figure out a way to finagle out of this, then awesome. That's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to up the difficulty for them. Like honestly, if you just look at the numbers on paper, it's like, they're going to be destroyed.
I was about to say, I got all day. You might as well just pull out the board game and let's just make a test run. You're gonna have to move my piece for me.
Oh, okay. Let's get going. All right, let's make a character.
Yeah. So that would be the first step. So it's kind of like, I would say it's a little bit probably dungeon-esque or Dungeons and Dragon-esque.
So it can be. Well, the game's called Fae, and unlike D&D, which is like a fantasy world, and you play heroes and things in this game, it's modern day Earth, and you are playing fairies and monsters and things that lurk in the shadows, go bump in the night, eat children, that kind of stuff. Like you are the monsters.
Okay. Are you worried about the fact that there's not a lot of people playing board games anymore? Do you think the trend's going to turn around? Like nobody predicted the superhero trend, and that just flipped immediately.
Right now, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, is in a huge influx. Like it's more popular now than it's ever been. Like I think some celebrities came out as playing it, and it just made it okay for everybody to play it, and it just kind of exploded. So I'm hoping to jump on those coattails a little bit and give them something new to play, and then be rich and famous. I'll be sitting by the pool for a podcast.
Are you gonna have the pool that has a jacuzzi in the pool, so then it's pouring down into the pool, so it's like a
oh yeah. Fountain? It will be one of those infinity pools where it'll look like it goes off into the mountains.
Wait, it's an infinity pool. I said forever fountain. I was trying to think of the name.
Forever fountain.
I mean, if you honestly look at it though, comics, for instance, I mean, comics kind of died off, but superhero movies kind of pulled them back in. But now you're seeing like old comic characters like what's his name? Donald, the guy who's in Scrubs, who played Turk. I forgot what his last name is. He's playing what is it, Gold Star or someone like that? One of the new superheroes that are coming out. So I'm like, you're going to see a rise in comic books again, because people are going to want to look at like, well, who the hell is this superhero I'm seeing on screen? They might get the movie.
What I've actually seen is like they thought there'd be a rise in the comics. The comics aren't really growing, and like the people that are into the movies are not into the comics. I'm seeing like more of a lot of the companies put a lot of money into the comics, thinking that was going to happen, and they're like redacting on that now. Like I don't know. It's really kind of weird.
I don't get that, because I'm the one that wants to go like find a YouTube video where someone's explaining the whole backstory of stuff like Venom, for instance. That's probably one of my.
But did you go out and buy the comics?
No, because I don't know where to buy comics at.
See, I mean, and that's one reason. But I know a lot of people that are into them now that they're movies, and they're like, oh great, I don't have to worry about comics. I get the movies.
That's cheap. I just think you need more playable places. Like I think the library, for instance, it's a public source of information, but maybe should just have like committees and centers also. Like I'm pretty sure they probably do game nights or stuff like that. They have like a child's night where they read stories to kids. They can have a game board night for people that just want to have fun. But I don't know. A lot of people want to keeping it an exclusive group, even though the community of it is probably so big. It just depends on, because then it classifies into, remember, not even 2 years ago, there was a whole infighting between serious fans and then newer fans that were just like, I
Yeah.
love Spider-Man. They're like, well, what's Spider-Man's backstory? Well, he lost his uncle, or no, well, he lives with his aunt, and then this type of stuff, because you don't even know the original Spider-Man. You're talking about Tom Holland. And they're like, well, I
That's my
love
Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they'll get a Spider-Man tattoo on their face. And then the hardcore fans are all like, I'm a level 72 paladin in World of Warcraft. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I've actually named him Peter Parker, my character in World of Warcraft. Actually, every character is named Peter Parker. And you're like, nerd. And he's like, well, no, I'm just a hardcore fan. Which, I mean, the comics and all that stuff, they're selling for so much money. It's like
Yeah. Certain
NFTs.
ones. Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
They used to be like a I met my buddy Adam Nutter, he's a comedian. He has like the original issue copies of like the original like superhero comics. And he always like, I mean, every couple of months or so, he'll find one at a store and he's like, I just spent $1.5 grand on this. And I'm just like, dude. And it's like, I can't get mad at it because I can understand it. It's like the same thing as NFTs. Eventually NFTs are going to be that same. I mean, it probably just evolved from that.
Right. It's things are only worth what people want to pay for 'em, you
That's
know. And if somebody's willing to pay that much for a copy of a comic, you sell it to them for that price. Go for it.
Now, do you have to board pitch? Like, do you have to pitch this in a meeting?
Well, right now I'm not pitching it anywhere at the moment, other than to like playtest groups, and then I'm gonna be doing some sessions of it at comic conventions. I'm doing my first gaming convention at the end of the month here, so that'll be a new experience for me. But as far as pitching it, once I get it ready for Kickstarter, I've been collecting a massive mailing list from the different events, and I'm hoping that I'll send them all a shout out when it's launching, and we'll go from there.
How much do you need to fundraise the full game, like Kickstarter?
Actually, I don't need to fundraise anything. Fundraising is just going to make it easier for me financially to initially print the books. Because technically I could just do it digitally, sell digital copies of it, and that wouldn't cost me anything.
Like, wait, so you can have a physical copy? Is it online or is it you can actually do it in person?
I've actually one of my playtest groups is remote, so we're playing it online.
Okay.
But it's much easier to play in person.
Now, who's the test group?
Well, I have 3 test groups. One is mostly family. One group is a group of gamers, though that I reached out to a like a hobby shop that has role play games and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and all that kind of stuff, and they had a group of gamers that were interested. So they're one of my other groups. And then the other group was just people I sent a shout out online to anyone interested and put together a group that way. So that's different people from all different places.
I didn't know GameStop held like actual tournaments and stuff like that. Because I remember just walking in there. I hadn't been in there in years, man. I hate going to GameStop. It's the worst experience I've ever had in my life. And I don't want to pre-order. I want this one game. You saw me walk in. I'm here less than a minute. I have to wait in line for 10. I got to put the game on the desk. And he was like, well, let me tell you about our pre-order offers. I'm like, I don't want that. Like email address. I'm like, I ain't giving you that either. But I remember I walked in one time and there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament going on and they had the full
they had
on
a table set up with a bunch of people around
but
it.
people that would give you shit in high school for playing that or doing anything like that were in there with dual discs on and their hair styled up like Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah, it's not uncool anymore. That's what I mean. Like comics superheroes aren't just nerdy anymore. D&D isn't just nerdy anymore. It's all accepted now. It's not like you're on the outskirts of society by being interested in these things anymore.
well, it's like there's not really any. I mean, there's bullying, but I don't even consider it bullying anymore. I just consider it just people just freaking, I don't know,
Being dicks.
Yeah, it's like that. There's not really bullying. Like people aren't like back when you were a kid, you used to be like afraid to go to school sometimes because you thought you're going to get beat up or something like that, or like jumped. Or
I'm
something
sure
like
that's
that.
still going on.
I mean, probably. I mean, now I feel like it happens more virtually, which is even worse because that shit don't go away.
Right, that you can get destroyed socially that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sixth grade teacher, I think, got a lot of like popular kids, and a lot of kids invested into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because for extra credit after class, you could have Yu-Gi-Oh! Like trading things and battles and stuff. And if you beat him, you got like an A on one of your assignments. So everyone was just like constantly like they were buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And then eventually you can just order them online now. I mean, it's like 2 cents a card and you get fill out your whole entire whatever. I think I still have in my garage. There was a brief amount of time after my senior year of high school. I just was working, and I just didn't have I didn't have a whole lot of bills. So I was just like, screw it. I could just got all this money saved up. Let me just start buying dumb stuff. So I started making customizable like Yu-Gi-Oh card decks. And I think I have the briefcase, which is just like 100 of them just stacked on top of each other, all customized decks. Like this one's full of samurais. This one's all that. So that's my inner nerd. So I'm just, I don't even call myself nerdy. I'm just a fan of the art that's on it. That's like what really, I think that's what kind of led me to want to ask you to do my show and everything too, is that the artwork, that stuff's fascinating as hell, man. I mean, the different types and styles that people can come up with, whether each individual card is created by a different artist and you see their rendition of it. It's kind of like AI art, for instance. You just type something in there and it creates something. But if you use different AI art generators, they're all different coding. So it's all a different type of thing. I love that because, like, if I asked you to draw me God, you would draw me God in the way that you think the God looks like. And then, bam, that's what your rendition would be. And then someone else would come up with something completely different. And they're not bad or worse. They're just different renditions of
Different
the same exact
interpretations.
project. Yeah.
Yep. So speaking of artists, in my game, not only am I I'm doing most of the artwork, but I have Rusty Gilligan, which I think you know him, doing. Okay, apparently you don't.
I don't.
You look a little lost.
I was
Lost in
sitting there like,
there.
well, I spaced.
Rusty Gilligan, he's done artwork for so many different companies. He did artwork for the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Oh, shit.
He's done work for you remember Heavy Metal?
Yeah.
The cartoon stuff. He did
White
artwork
Snake.
for that. Yeah. So he's done a lot of that stuff. He's doing artwork for this. Jim Lawson, who was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle artist, is doing work for this. And Mark Martirosian, who's one of the retired hand-drawn Disney animators, is doing artwork for this too.
Do you think there's a, like, for instance, if 90s cartoons, everybody likes to reminisce about the old style cartoons, even 80s, Thundercats, whatever you want to say. Do you think that would come back, or do you feel like it's now just taken more of an, because I think people have just been exposed to like before you could never show like nudity on film. It was illegal. You couldn't do it. Then French people started doing it. Next thing you know, they became very popular in like cinemas, and they opened up a whole theater where they would show pornographic movies. And we lost our man, Pee Wee Herman, rest in peace, in one of those luxurious theaters with the comfortable seats and the sticky floors. Not sticky because of the popcorn, sticky because of something else. But we'll move on to the next part of this.
Soda pop, yeah.
But damn it, I lost my train of. Okay, so cartoons, for instance. When you watch cartoons now that's in any of that type of style, even when Kevin Smith, and I love Kevin Smith. I think he's fantastic in everything he does. I know a lot of people like to reference his Clerk style stuff, but I've just heard him in many interviews before really explain. And I'm like, this is kind of what I would like to see in the world, is a lot of people not really just wanting to own the industry because they can own the industry, but more about the fact of having people who actually love and appreciate this art so much that they're willing to take the reins of this show's control and have it go wherever. And I mean, now we see cartoons like Rick and Morty. It's a cool like cartoon art style, which is I think why everybody gets nostalgic when they watch it, but it's so modern to now with the type of verbal cursing where maybe it would be hard to make a comeback with it, but also the fear of the future, for instance. I mean, you can't just go back to just people being like, well, gee willikers, and they stump their toe. No, it's got to be like slam a beer bottle on a
Like
person's
they have,
head.
I mean, they've got updates like He-Man. I think there's 2 different shows now that are modern tellings of He-Man. I know they're working on a Thundercats one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has constantly been updated. I mean, there's a new version of that every 5 years anyway.
I never understood why the bad guy got to kill people, but the good person never did. And they're like, "Oh, he's a good protector." I'm like, "Have you seen Batman? Batman, he's killed people. Now, he can say he hasn't, but I've seen the way he hits people. Someone's getting a brain aneurysm at some point."
Oh yeah, there were a lot of dead people, and Michael Keaton Batman definitely killed an awful lot of guys.
Because I'm trying to wonder, like, I don't want to see people do the same thing over and over again. I know everyone says that. I've heard it so much. People go, I want to see something new and something different. It's like, well, you're still buying the ticket to the same old thing. Like, I don't want to see another Spider-Man. I don't want to see another this. I want to see a different rendition. That's why, I mean, I've started to appreciate more
They
about
say that, but then I'll just throw it out here. The second of the Disney Star Wars movies, the last was it the Last Jedi? What is it called?
any of the new ones I haven't seen. I've only seen the originals.
It was completely different than any other Star Wars movie, and the reviewers, the critics loved it. The fans hated it. They completely. I mean, they hated. Right now, they hate the whole thing. But in the second one, like it had a completely different structure to the movie. It had a completely different kind of message. It was, and like I was like, here you go. Here's something completely different. You guys complained that the one before this was too similar. Here's something completely different. They flipped out about that even more, and it's like you just can't. I don't. People say they want different, but then they are uncomfortable with it a lot of times. You know, it's a big gamble for like a movie company to do something different when they're not sure if it's going to work or not. Versus like, here's the formula. This is the formula that makes us money. So let's do the thing that makes us money, you know?
The world went to shit when they let people review things. Why?
Podcasts, I'm telling you, man, podcasts have destroyed the world.
I'm sorry. It's like that with podcasts too. You can review now podcasts, and I mean, you could do that before. Before, I never gave a crap, and then people are like, "Well, this helps your analytics go up, and it helps them boost you up
right,
to the front."
because you can tie into different movies and different things, and
But
they have all those reaction videos, which I can't stand either. I'm like,
oh, you don't
like
like it when
watch people react to watching things,
That's entertaining sometimes.
or watch people playing video games.
I'm not gonna lie. When I'm on
like
Facebook and
that
I'm
stuff?
watching like a funny video, it leads me right into that, and I end up watching it.
Oh boy,
It's that
you're part of the
Facebook thing.
problem. You're part of the problem.
It's when they keep like they like, it's like TikTok. TikTok is just a assortment of videos, but if you let it go and it just keeps going and going and going and going, I'm starting to notice that now. Like, you're not going to want to waste the energy to lift your finger. You rather just waste the energy or time watching a video if it just keeps leading you on to more and more and more. If there's no end, when it ends, it says playing next video in 4 seconds. You're like, what? Well, I wonder what's next. The curiosity. The 4 seconds doesn't matter anymore. You'll wait an hour for the curiosity aspect of it. But I mean, people still don't want to listen to ads. You hear an ad, you want to skip it. Whenever I'm listening to like Spotify or something, I skip ads and stuff like this. I'm like, I don't want to hear about some person trying to sell me a website. Like, I get it. You can buy your own domain for however much money you want. And this is going to lead into my next category where we talk about my sponsor for the show, Squarespace. If you need an original website, you need your website done professionally. You need it done good. You need it done clean. You want to sell drugs on your website, Squarespace. That's why I tell people, I was like, nobody's ever going to want to sponsor me because I will literally crap on. That's love though. And it gets the name out there. People remember a website that you can sell cocaine on. You know what I'm talking about? You want professional. That's professional standards. But I mean, yeah, people won't skip an ad. And I mean, people will skip an ad, but they won't. I don't know. Maybe it's the curation of videos. It just depends. Sometimes they're really interesting. Sometimes I do skip through some videos on Facebook, but sometimes you get something that's like, I don't know, like I like watching people play. What the hell's wrong with people playing video games?
I mean,
I itch my elbow.
I guess like I used to like sitting down and watching like my friend playing one player. Like I remember a whole weekend of watching Final Fantasy. You know, they're playing it and I'm sitting there. I'll go make the popcorn. Come on.
That's entertaining though, because you want to kind of cheer your friend on in an aspect, but also at the same time, you're waiting for him to die so you can get the controller.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. We can create a game, can't we? I mean, me and you can create it, or a show. We can create a show.
We can create a game show.
I want to do No, I'm not doing a.
No.
There's
Oh,
too
come on,
many.
we'll get you one of those tiny mics on the long stick.
I watched. There's a British version of Family Feud, and they have like a Steve Harvey type, but he's white, but he looks exactly like Steve Harvey, like body size and everything like that,
Oh
like
my God,
height.
it's white Steve Harvey.
Dude, he talks like him too. And it's like I get it for hosts. You want to have someone with personality. Like you don't want to, but I don't trust any of these hosts. Like, who's your favorite late night show person? And if you say Colbert, we're gonna have a problem.
Colbert.
No.
Late night. Like I'm usually up at 5 a.m. So like anything late night, I really don't watch. I used to detest Conan O'Brien
Why? Because he's Irish?
because I used to have because I used to have to ride the train. This is a weird story. I used to have to ride the train home, the midnight train out of Boston home every night. And the one car that would be open for that train where I sat, his poster was sitting in front of me every night. And he's just like,
He's extremely tall.
yes, but he's like glaring at me with a smile for every night. So I'm just like, I hate that guy. It was before I'd even like seen any of it. I'm just like, that guy right there. I hate him.
I would prefer if they just did it differently for each person. Like I get it, but if you watch them now, like it's weird to
They all do the same kind of thing.
yeah, but I get it because it's a template that works, but don't lie to me and think that when I watch the show that I really think you're above a Seattle skyline. Like there's no way. That's not behind you. And they trick you with that. But then most of it now is like games where I'm like, is this like bread and circus for real? Like I get it. You get a musician, you want them to play a song. But I remember one of my you watched his movie recently, Inside with Bo Burnham. Bo
Yes.
Burnham has a stand-up thing on Conan, and he talked about like the interviews afterwards, and he was like, it was terrible. He goes, they gave me 10 minutes, but it was like dance monkey dance. And he's like, that's what you kind of see. I mean, now we have Ariana Grande and we have like Shaquille O'Neal stuck in a phone booth singing karaoke or something like that. And if one of them loses or something like that, they get squirt in the face. And I'm just like, is this fun? I mean, we're seeing the same exact thing over and over and over again. Back in the day, there used to be like old radio stuff. That's why, dude, if I had money, I would get a radio station. Like I was talking to my dad about this because my dad works at one. I was like, man, radio. I was like, is it for me? Like, should I just go into it? And he's like, it's not the same. It's just not the same. I took a tour. It's not the same. It's just so programmed up now. And I get it because you got to be careful what you say on air now.
Yeah, you
Actually,
gotta be careful what you say. You got to make sure you're spacing your sponsors. It's and you know it's so easy to quickly just like lose your funding and you're done.
yeah. Well, I mean, everything's so tied together now, which is why we go back to what I was saying, like in the beginning, is that everything is got hands in something else. It's like Disney. It's all over the board where I'm just like, can we just stick to what we want you for? Like you don't need to do toilet paper. I don't need a Disney frozen Elsa toilet paper rack that sings Let It Snow or whatever the hell the song is when
Is
I'm
there
wiping
one of
my
those?
ass. Yeah, there's two.
Sweet.
Do you like that?
I think it'd be great if you have one of each on each side and pull at the same time and they sing together.
Jesus, Jay's been in the bathroom for like 4 hours. It's just ate
Let it
shit
snow,
today.
let it snow.
I just can't get this song out of my head.
I need another roll of paper.
I just think that because I really like back. I remember when I was a kid and there was a guy who was like a local Baltimore radio personality, and he was so good. Like everyone would tune in every morning to listen to him. And he said something on a Martin Luther King Day, something that was really political, and it just gone right after that. Nope, it was no longer on the radio. That was it for him. But then there was a station I was listening to for a while when I was in high school, and they're still on today, but they're kind of not like it's so hard for me to listen to radio. It's kind of like I understand when my dad works in it 24/7. He just always has the car, like no sound playing. And I would try and play music. He'd be like, shut it off. I'm like, why? He's like, listen to the natural sounds of the world. I listen to this every single day. I'm like, oh, I get it. You know?
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah.
It's officially work.
But they have a thing on it's 93.5 The Beach. And what they do is in the morning, it's called like a deadbeat dad segment. And what they do is they call like a dad who left their kids. They get the person's number. They can't like someone says, hey, can you call this? He's late on whatever checks. And they call him up and they're like, hey man, you just want a contest. And the guy's like, won a contest. What did I win a contest? I didn't even remember entering contest. Well, your phone number was randomly picked out of a generator type thing. And hey, man, you won. It looks like it's going to be seven. And they'll say like the exact price of whatever their, their child support check is or something like that. And he's like, awesome. He goes, so what are you going to do with it? He goes, man, I'm probably going to do this with my car. And he's like, how about you pay for your fucking kids? And it's like this weird thing where it's like, and then obviously they have to agree to it. So they end up getting the money anyway. But they have to agree so they can put it on air and play it like that. But I'm like, yeah, it's just it's not, that's kind of okay, I guess. But it's like, well, I don't like Howard Stern. Like, I don't like Dr. Phil for the fact that you're gonna publicize people's pain and also for them too. Why are you gonna do that to yourself? Like the Catch Me Outside girl. Why does she have over 1 million followers on Instagram? All because she's what? An asshole, and people look up to the fact that she's like, catch me outside. Like, what about like the people who are actually doing like amazing things like rebuilding homes in Africa or something like that? Like those people have like, they're struggling for funding. They're struggling just to get attention.
It's what people pay attention to. I mean, it's like I've noticed on social media, I'm constantly seeing news articles pop up with things that I'm like, what the hell are they even talking about? And I got it. Like, they want you to click on it because they want you to get mad about it and respond to it. And that connection is how they're getting their attention,
Well, they updated a new ghost thing now so what happens is person I follow, Eric Weinstein, he is an evolutionary biologist. He has a friend and they've openly spoke about like Wuhan. They've openly spoke about like the whole COVID pandemic thing and the way that, the narrative wasn't really like. And he went to follow his friend, or I guess he unfollowed him and then went to go follow him back just to check something out. And what happened is this, are you sure you wish to follow this person? Instagram never asks you that. Instagram, I'll always be like liking a hashtag or something like that, and I'll accidentally follow a bunch of people on accident. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I didn't want to follow them. No, I just was liking their post because it's something that was in the hashtag that I was looking at. And they never say, are you sure you want to follow? But now they're doing it with certain accounts that they deem might be like, maybe you should double check on who you're following. I'm like, well, what? Do it to the flat earthers then. Why do we have flat earthers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have people that literally believe that the Holocaust doesn't exist. Like, that should be are you sure you wish to follow this? But they're like, no, we're only going to do it with people that talk about election stuff and, aren't on our political side. And I'm like, hey, dirty business, Instagram. I get it. And then you're linked in. I can't tell if you're 100% in with Zuckerberg. Who's owning Instagram? I think it's Zuckerberg, isn't it?
Yeah. They're all intertwined. They all buy each other and trade each other, and it's like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering. They're all
interchangeable. Even with Bezos, my homie Bezos, the man got an old British ship or something like that. He was
he's demoing. He's going to demo the
bridge. It's a bridge.
Yeah, he's building the ship. It's going to be the largest sailing yacht in the world. And
Titanic, nobody learns.
In order to get it to his house, they have to disassemble a historic bridge and put it back.
Well, what?
He's paying to disassemble a historic bridge so they can sail through and then put the bridge back. And I bet you there's money going to a bunch of other things too to make it okay.
So the bridge is not retractable?
No, it's a bridge from the 1800s. It's a historic landmark, and he is paying to disassemble it so his boat can go through and then reassemble it.
Damn it! See, this is where usually
that's when you have the money, when you can just be like, and you know what, people are like, how dare you? I'm like, he could just buy. This is is this in the Netherlands? Yeah, it's in the Netherlands.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
And
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like,
I'm kidding.
He probably went up to them. He's like, look, you got two choices. You can either let me take down the bridge and put it back, or I'm just going to buy the Netherlands. The Bezoslands.
How do you feel about a person having that much money where they can literally buy a small country? Like with islands, for instance, I have an issue.
I have no idea what it's like I mean, at that point, you're just looking for things to do with it. It's like you just have it, and I have no idea what it's like to be that wealthy. I mean, I really don't. I don't think anybody really does. As far as people like creating opinions of what they should and shouldn't do. I mean,
How much money you got saved up in your bank account?
$8 billion.
Okay, maybe that was a very, very private question. I'm sorry for asking that. How ballpark me?
Ballpark you?
Can you ballpark me? You can say between.
I'm not buying any. I'm not buying a house on a small island anywhere. How's that?
Well, how do you know? Do you know the prices of small islands? I'm looking.
I do.
It up right now.
My wife's in real estate, so.
Does she sell islands? How do you sell an island? Do you have to wait? Hold
You
on.
gotta find someone who wants to sell the island to begin with, and then you sign up as their agent.
Yeah, this is a
I have
lawbreaker.
an island for sale over here. Gilligan's Island.
This is a law-breaking realty. How can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking to buy a small island. Oh yeah, I got one on the market just for you. We actually got 3 on the market. It's like, oh yeah, okay. So when can I take a tour? Well, whenever you feel like getting your boat in the water, you can take me with you, because at our real estate company, we do not own a boat, but we do have the rights to this private island.
But after you buy the island, we'll be able to buy ourselves a boat with a helicopter pad on it. We appreciate your business. Thank you.
So I'm typing in buy an island on Google.
Okay.
I wonder if
I'll
that's
do the
going to.
same.
You think that'll put me on a watch list? No, they don't care. They don't check that shit, or Epstein wouldn't have been going on for so long. I hate to bring in that type thing, but holy crap, there's a private island.
Private islands online. Here we go.
On
We're
the same
going there.
site.
Oh, look at all these places.
You pick yours out, put it in your cart. I'm gonna put mine on my wish
let's see
list.
for sale. Let's see.
Yeah.
What region should I go with?
This coming Christmas.
Let's go with United States. Let's
wait,
get a
you
United
can.
States
Would
island.
you wait? Should we rent an island, or should we do an island for sale?
I'm looking for islands for sale. I'm gonna look at my home state here, Massachusetts.
It better be like a nice island, like enough to have like a small laboratory.
Oh, there's 2 islands for sale here. Sipston Island. Oh, it's sold. Damn it. Horse Island, Massachusetts.
Can you rename it?
$750,000.
What do you do? Like, where are you looking at?
I'm on Private Islands Inc.
I am
PrivateIslandOnline.com.
I'm gonna pull this up on screen so people
Yeah.
listening can. I'm on a private. I'm on the same one you're on, probably, but I'm looking
And then
at.
for sale, then you pick the location. I picked Massachusetts.
Wait, timeout. Is it telling you like in your area, or is it because mine's telling me Central America is where I can go get the private island? Why are they all in Spain or Europe? Let's see. The top one is from price high to low.
All right, go up to the very top. Go up to the very top.
Yeah.
Right there for sale. Click a region.
Do we
Go
have
to
any in the States?
You're already on for sale. Now where it says view all regions.
Africa, Canada. Let's go United States. What do we got?
Yeah.
What do we
Now you pick a
got?
state. Where do you want to live? What state do you want to have your own island in? Or are you going to do the whole United States?
I'm gonna do the whole United States. Probably
Okay.
gonna find something different. I doubt there's any in Maryland. Whoa, Florida, Pumpkin Keys, 26 acres. That's not even an island. Actually, that is pretty big.
That you could hunt people on that island, man. Look at that thing. That's like one of those jungle islands.
Why do you go straight to hunting people?
Because that's a hunting people island. Look at that.
I
Just
would
see the
do that.
fort-
Is that
see
what-
the fort right in the middle?
Is that what? Yeah, but is,
Let me
is
see
that,
the mansion.
it's a
mansion with the
watchtower.
duck.
Is that what you would do with a private island? Would you hunt people?
Well, yeah. What else do you do with a private island?
I don't know. Like drop off rare indigenous creatures. Petra Island is 11 acres. Is that one?
Either that or you like create like half human, half animal
Fifth-
creatures, you know?
Is
like
that
Island of Dr. Moreau.
$15,900,000 for Little Hawkins Island? And it's 4 acres. Why? I
Georgia,
love it how
man.
it says recommended, like it's in my fucking price range.
Oh, it's like an Amazon pick.
Oh, that one's pretty cool.
That was cute. Look at that.
That's 22 acres. That's bigger than this one.
Yeah. That one's
That's not
sold.
even an island. Looks like it's on land. They just
What's
built
that
a bridge.
Petra Island? What's going on over there? Oh, they won't tell you the price. So.
That one? It's 11 acres. I'm not going to do it. If they said price upon request, they're just going to try and test the waters a little bit.
Yeah,
How are
they
these
don't
sold? Sold by who? Where's the CIA? Why aren't they checking these?
I think you could start like traveling to these islands to talk to the people who bought them.
First of all, I can't pick any of them that have a really good name. Like this one, Hope Island. You can't start a freaking hunting island where you're hunting people.
Oh,
on
look,
Hope
it's got
Island.
rock cliffs around the whole
I know,
perimeter.
and
That's
it's
good.
86 acres.
You can lose a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
Trump Island.
Where? Trump Island? Do you want an island associated? There's people that are looking for islands. Like I can't. The island has Trump's name in it. I can't. It's like you can rename the island, or there's people that want to buy it specifically.
It's
to
your
rename
island
it.
once you buy it. So
Yeah. Whiskey Island.
can
That's
you
cute.
can you list them by cheapest to most expensive?
Let's get what? All right. So this Whiskey Island is 3 acres. Bird Island is 51 acres, and there's the 51 acre one is $250,000 less than Whiskey Island, which is only 3 acres. Man, I really want to meet one of these people that are actually like wanting to buy an island. It has to be some.
I
type
would
of-
want to buy an island.
I
You have the
would
best
too.
neighbors that way. You have no neighbors.
Yeah, but what happens if like a meteor just hits directly on your island?
The same thing would happen if it landed on your house on land, probably.
Comfort Island is 2 acres off the market. Okay. Thanks for showing me
Price
my
low
list.
to high. I want to see the cheapest island.
Okay.
I'm searching the world for the cheapest island. Nakachahura Lagoon in Asia, 29 acres. It's listed as the cheapest.
Okay,
island.
I'm not going to Asia, so we're gonna be at war with them soon. So let's just go to low to
Okay.
high. That one doesn't show me pictures. I don't trust it. 125,000 No Man's Island. Probably gonna pass.
It's probably like grass sticking out of the swamp waters.
This
Probably
one's
like
cute.
you can't actually stand on it.
This
but
one's cute. I like this one.
All right.
Okay, it says Spun Island Lots, tranquility, mainland comforts, in a world-class location. The island gem in the heart of Southeast Alaska has it all.
Ooh. Oh, it's sold. Damn it.
Nah,
They got our island.
too many islands. Too many islands. Not enough people. You have to think though. Like, I mean, if you bought your own island, you have to be put on some type of like somebody has to come by and observe your stuff, right? That has to be a new rule that's got to be
Yeah,
implemented.
it's just like I mean, a lot of these are like in rivers and stuff, and it just means you have to have a boat to get to it. That's all.
Do you think in the next like 5 years, because this is my fear, I've kind of talked about a little bit. I feel like with academia, you're having a lot of people that aren't getting their research and all this type of papers passed. So what they're doing is they're reaching out to billionaires. And in a sense, that's good. Let's say you're a space ecologist and you're trying to study how plants can grow in space in case whenever you try and reach like a space civilization or try and colonize on another planet. You reach out to Bezos. Hey, man, I have this idea to help grow plants and things. So Bezos, this is his first. Let me say Elon, because Bezos might be a potential guest if he's listening. Bezos, I love you.
You wouldn't have Elon on as a guest?
I haven't reached out to him. Not really worried about it. The Bitcoin thing just gives me anxiety. I feel like he would just give me anxiety. But Elon, let's do Bill Gates. I can make fun of Bill Gates. Because I've done it in the past. But Bill Gates, like if someone reached out to Bill Gates, hey, I want to build since you're going up and maybe doing flights up in space, I would like to, hop on and do some of my research. Oh, well, what's your research? And he starts explaining research. Oh, that sounds really interesting. And it's definitely going to be beneficial to mankind. And you're like, yes, it's going to be very beneficial to mankind. Would you like to invest? And he's like, yeah, I'll invest $2 million into that. And then we could take it up into space. And then hopefully I win a Nobel Peace Prize. And then they go up there. And then eventually everyone's reaching out to Bill Gates. And then eventually he's just like, oh, I can start manipulating these people, much like through television, much like through any type of production or any type of creative work at all. When you get a sponsor or when you get someone who is funding your project, you
They own it.
eventually lose control of it. And all they do is they go, well, maybe instead of it's Jay, instead of making a game where people can play as monsters or fairies, instead, how about we make it so people can just be vampires and werewolves, no other monsters, and we actually make it more Twilight. And then there's maybe a rogue person that slays the monsters, so it's like a 3-sided thing where there's the werewolves, the vampires, then the hunter. And you're like, well, that would cost about
I'm taking some notes here.
No,
Keep going.
that would cost about a couple $100,000 for me to be able to redesign the whole game in the way that you would like it. Well, you know what? I've been funding the project and I have the money for it. And honestly, this idea is kind of dumb. And after a while, I've owned it. So now I just want to say maybe we should throw your idea aside and we do mine. And you're like, well, hang on a second. That's not what I wanted to do. The game was going to be my game. You're going to let me have full creative. Now we get into creative property licensing. Is that being effectively done correctly? Because I feel like a lot of people are getting screwed out of a lot of stuff. It's actually a big issue with young CEO people in the States. What they're doing is they're throwing out an idea to China, and China's like, this is a great idea, we're going to help you out. They think because that person can't speak very good English, because China, they don't really care to learn English. There's like one person on the committee that just learns it so they can do trading and all that, especially at a giant corporation. They just sit there and nod their head like this, kind of go, yeah, yeah. Then they go off and they have a full-on conversation about how they're going to screw us over. And we're sitting there like, oh, we got this in the bag. Next thing you know, you lose your company. And this has been like a huge issue with like a lot of startup companies that were like Amazon and all this type of stuff that went over there. They bought it and they made it over there and now they own it. And now that whole idea is gone and that person is left penniless, all because they try to get cocky.
It's better than trying to get bukkake. I mean, anytime you sign up with anybody, it just derailed us. Anytime you sign up with anybody like to fund your project, I mean, they're essentially taking control of the project. They're paying for it. So anytime you sign up, like that happens all the time. Same thing happens all the time with movies. Somebody writes an original script for something, and it gets picked up, and guess what? The movie house that's paying for it is going to do some tweaking. They're going to change it. Before you know it, it becomes formula because it's safe to make money off of the formula.
The best person I've ever heard explain when they put their foot down was Quentin Tarantino, because I think Quentin Tarantino has only said he's going to make 10 movies throughout his whole entire career. And I think he's got one left or something like that.
Yeah, I think it might be the second Kill Bill or the third Kill Bill. Sorry.
But he was talking about like how there was a scene or whatever where they wanted to take out an F word that was placed somewhere. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, well, we're funding and we're doing your whole thing. Like, was it when he was first starting out? And they were like, well, we're going to take it. I know it was in Pulp Fiction, I think. John Travolta, that's what it was. It wasn't an F word. John Travolta wasn't the original person that was going to be cast in Pulp Fiction. It was going to be the scene was set for someone else, but they asked him, they're like, hey, give me 10, 13, just give me a list of names of possible people to play in your film. And he was just like, well, it's like one of his first movies. He's like, I don't know, John Travolta, just starts writing down a bunch of names that he would never even thought of. He was just going to test the limits and test the water, because his idea, and this is where I'm like, this is where you have geniuses that are literally paving the way in this whole entire creative aspect. It's kind of like Elvis. Elvis was the first person to get famous in a grand aspect of what fame is. That means he stepped in every single pothole on the way to fame, where anybody who's following him can be like, well, I'm going to not fucking step in that. I'm going to reach over that,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino was that. And what Quentin Tarantino goes, well, I'm going to write down a bunch of high list celebrities, and then they'll cross out the ones that they can't get and give me the ones that they can get. And then here's what happens is now you have that whole wide range from minimum to max of people that you can put in your film. That's fucking ingenious. Mm-hmm. But he talked about like John Travolta wasn't meant for that scene. And then eventually they were
John Travolta never did anything like that. John Travolta was a washed up young man actor.
Yeah.
Like he hadn't done anything serious. He was from Greece and that stuff. And he hadn't done anything in a while. And Tarantino kind of broke him into like being mainstream again,
Why do you think that is though? Why do you think that John Travolta was like that? And why does he suddenly have like popularity, or why did he, I know it wasn't just off of one film, but I feel like that's a Scientology aspect as well too. Like, I'm surprised they let Tom Cruise do all the things they type of do. Like, here's where I'm getting like, because there's rumors of a multiverse kind of another superhero movie that's coming out, much like the new Spider-Man, where they're going to have the dark Iron Man or the gray Iron Man. And what he is that it's Tom Cruise's character from another multiverse where Tony Stark has become evil. And he's like this whole entire thing. I'm just so curious because I'm like, why does Scientology have like the loosest restrictions on freaking Tom Cruise? Where I'm like, if you get your hands in with Disney, bruh, that leads into the bigger conspiracy of Disney, like, is in pockets with every single person. Because I feel like Disney and Scientology together, unless they're working together, you're not going to crush Disney. They just own way too much. Like the heiress from Disney went down to one of her parks, like a great descendant from Walt Disney or something like that went down to one of her parks, and was so disgusted by the type of conditions that their workers are being put through, low minimum wage, all this type of stuff, where she lost it in the middle of public, like openly speaking at press conferences, talking about these horrible conditions. Everyone's like, oh my God. I haven't heard of her since she said that at all. And it's been months. Like they just like, never again, you're going to our parks. Like you might be the face, but no, not to Disney. We're bigger than you. And it's like, well, it's my great grandfather's company. Doesn't matter. You want to end up in a ditch? Because I'll fucking throw you in there. I just picture Mickey Mouse and Goofy with a bat. Like, I'll throw you in there.
Yeah. Ever you watched any of the South Park with Mickey Mouse in it?
I don't really watch South Park. I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay. Well, he's like, aha, I'm the boss now. Shut up, bitch. And he's like breaking legs and with his billy club. He's just like, once Disney shows up, the mouse shows up. He puts everyone in their place.
Well, I mean, do you ever think about this, or is it maybe I'm just the nut job here? But I look at it like all these giant corporations that are branching out of their spot that they were originally invested in, trying to do other things. I get it because you want to kind of be everywhere. But at the same time, it's scaring me because imagine 10 years from now, all these giant corporations, there's a couple dominant few.
Well, that's where it is now. Like almost everything is either owned by whether it's directly owned or through a subsidiary. Everything is pretty much owned through Universal and Disney. Like those two entertainment companies own 90% of the world at this point.
So do you think
and anything else gets big, one of them grabs it and it's like, oh, we're gonna take this and we'll make a Disney movie of this. We'll make them,
Well, so basically the example is like if you're a kid with a startup idea or a company and then someone buys that idea from you, they're also eliminating the competition, but also they're owning the product that you might have been like a future forward advanced thinker in that aspect, like a Quentin Tarantino in film. But do you think that they're making more money off the competition aspect? Or do you think that they're eventually going to form into one giant media blob? Like,
well, then it turns into a monopoly, and then that turns into legal problems. So I think they got to keep it.
Yeah, but the idea that you can't have a monopoly.
I think the whole idea of two. It's the same thing with the politics. Like you got to run with a D or an R after your name, or you're just gonna be laughed at by everybody else.
Well, the idea that monopolies can't exist is a stupid thought because there's monopolies that exist all the time. There's a written down rule.
All utilities are monopolies, and
cable companies are monopolies.
Yeah.
Gas pricing is monopolies. I mean, if you look at the fact of like whenever just the best example for a listener out there that's maybe like, what are you talking about? Watch how when one person raises their prices, they all raise their price. Watch how when one person drops their price, they all drop their price. It's a dance. They're just waiting to see who's making the first move and is going to, I guess we're following that person. It's line leader, except there's no designated leader. You got switch hitters all over the board.
That way nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah, which it's interesting because you feel like, is there anybody that's handling those situations? Like I don't, unless there's lawsuits that I don't know about going on. But is there a task force? We have a fucking space task force. There should be definitely a task force for monopoly.
It's tied in with the politicians. So obviously, if our bills get too high too quickly, we freak out and we elect the other side, whatever side happens to be in charge at the time. So so they have to carefully weigh what they can increase things by in order for people not to flip out. You know what I mean?
I just found
I have a feeling right before the election, the gas prices are going to come down a little bit. So they'll be up at $4 or something by the time we get to the election. And then they'll drop some because it will look people are like, oh, see, it's coming back down. Don't worry about that. That kind of a thing.
So I pulled up an article. It says Task Force for Monopolies. The Federal Trade Commission's Bureau of Competition announced the creation of a task force dedicated to monitoring competition in U.S. technology markets, investigating any
Yeah,
potential.
and something like that is not corrupt at all. Nobody's paying them to get things done.
Where did all the good people go?
Podcasts.
No, we're not good people either. I think everybody's got their own fault. I see. My idea is that if you want full control, then you're probably not the best person to have control. Usually the best person to have control is a person who doesn't really have the aspiration to want it in the first place.
The best person to be president would be somebody who doesn't want to run for president.
Well, you got to not try and pick a.
If you want to just go right for that, I mean.
Well, you got to not try and pick a Christian president every time. The idea that you always need to have a Christian president, I don't think we'll ever have one that'll be atheist. And that's not saying there's anything against religion. It's just an aspect of like people don't want something that's different than what they've always had. As much as they say they want change, it's always red and blue. I've never seen a middle person. I don't see.
That's what I mean. Like you have to have the D or the R after your name, whether you are either one of them when you run. It's like you're not taken seriously unless you have that on the ticket.
We got to have Vernon Supreme as president. You know who I'm talking about? The homeless guy was on Tosh.0. He has a boot on his head. He was running for presidential candidate in like 2014.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He said free ponies for every single person when he becomes president.
Just think of how I put all my money in ponies.
No, you just gotta
stock.
You gotta start up a company either in horse betting or start up a company in saddles.
Breeding. Lots of breeding.
Oh, breeding.
Horse breeding.
No, if there's too many horses as it is, I don't think people want to keep breeding them. But what's interesting is that when we're looking up those private islands, the Buy Island site, there's a site I talked about a long time ago. I was mentioning earlier. It's Buy Tigers. So I talked about this site a long time ago. There was supposed to be a skeptical conspiracy idea of a website called Buy Tigers. There's a legit site where you can buy tigers. I don't know if it's still available now because what happened is 2 years after I mentioned that in an episode, which was around the beginning when I was first starting this out, this Tiger King came out. And then people are like, what? And it's like, yeah, did you know there's more tigers in Texas than all the wild of the world? That's what people don't understand is if you check their if you Google Texas's laws on endangered animals, there's not a tiger thing. There's not a tiger clause. There's not you can't own a tiger in Texas. So they're like, fuck it, let's get a bunch of tigers. Same thing in Canada. You can own a dolphin in your backyard.
Wow. Tigers aren't so expensive.
How much are tigers?
Oh, it's the collars.
Oh, I'm about to say, holy shit, if it's cheaper than an island. Well, you got to buy the island first and then get the tiger.
Costs $13,400.
Damn, how rich is Carol?
A 5-month-old female tiger.
Oh God.
A Hello Tiger guide.
Stop.
Ivory collar.
Stop. Oh, you're talking about collars.
And 3 tiger toys.
What are the tiger toys? A homeless man's foot
with a boot on his head.
Oh,
for 13,000. So you buy your island. Okay, so we're putting this together. You buy your island, and then you get yourself about a dozen tigers.
Your hair is getting long.
That's why I'm wearing this hat.
It looks literally like, when you see the MySpace profile pictures of people be emo, and it has 2 fingers in their jeans.
Sup,
bro?
Hey,
give me a nice teenage sigh. That even sounded depressing. Yeah, but look up Texas's laws on tigers, because that led me. I remember because a long time ago I wanted to buy a sloth because they're $5,000, but then I looked at see, I'm a type of person that's I want to get a dog. Okay, let me look up what it takes to care for the dog breed that I want. I don't have the time. I don't have the attention span. I'm not getting a dog. That's my whole process. I think that's very intelligent to, instead of buying and then just getting run right into it.
So you got yourself a plant instead?
No, I didn't get anything.
Nothing.
I got a podcast instead of a dog. That's what I got.
Oh my God, that's scary.
This is my baby, and it's growing and it's reaching.
Just so you know, you can't buy 2 tigers. You can only buy 1
at the same time, or you can have more than 1.
We don't sell more than 1 tiger to any customer.
Okay.
So we'd have to get a group of guys together and each of us buy a tiger.
I mean, is
the
it?
island.
It's an online profile. Do they ask for your ID? That's what I'm saying. Is you can just create another account. I create out of the blank as an account, and I create out of the blank 1, out of the blank 2, out of the blank 3,
Oh my God.
and the person
And each of
monitoring
them
the
have a
site's like,
tiger.
oh, this must be a popular new name.
I can't believe I'm looking at a site that I could order a tiger right now.
I gotta pull it up now. I haven't seen the site in a while. Did they redo the website?
Oh, it looks very old.
They didn't get Squarespace. Squarespace, if you want to sell cocaine on your website, if you want to sell a tiger on your website, we're a better place to do it.
Squarespace.
Buy tigers.
.com.
You didn't think I was being serious, did you?
I just was curious, and now I'm probably on a list. Congratulations.
You get put on a list for anything. You're on a list because they check everybody's data all the time. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of buying tiger websites.
there are, but there's only one, buytigers.com.
Mine didn't pop up in my Google. All right? Let me look up laws of owning tiger in Texas. Texas has no statewide law forbidding private ownerships of tigers and other exotic animals. Yeah, that was May 11th, 2021. Like I said, that was right before like the whole tiger thing started coming out. But then I learned about the dolphin one in Canada because there was a guy on a podcast, Phil Demers, who is suing, has been on a long lawsuit, I think for like 9 years now, with it's a type of SeaWorld. I forgot what it's called, but it's a very popular spot in Canada. But it's a guy who literally just owns a lot of property and just starts buying like aquatic animals and stuff like that, and then runs an amusement park because he can. It's his property. And it's like, this is where it starts to get like, are you, I get it. You might not be necessarily evil, but the fact that you just feel like you can do it. Like, that's why I say there should be restrictions on billionaires as well, too. I don't think Bezos should be tearing apart a bridge and then rebuilding it because he has enough money to do so. I don't think you should ever own a country when you're one person. I think the fact that we have a president that leads a country is a scary thought, but owning a whole entire country, then he can be king if you wanted to be. That's like where we start getting into weird territory, I guess. But I just feel like there needs to be more restrictions and stuff like that. And there's like a lot of guidelines that need to be created. I don't think you should be buying exotic animals and putting them in your house. I mean, if I can own a SeaWorld in my bed, did you know that the reason why when you're swimming with dolphins, they give you a life vest in case that dolphin takes you underwater and tries to drown you?
Yeah, because they're trying to have sex with you.
Not even that, just the fact that they're jealous. Did you know dolphins get jealous? There's a basketball player, I forgot something Tyler. He was with, like, I guess he was dating Iggy Azalea at the time. And this dolphin got jealous. And he has an interview where he's like, this dolphin tried to drown me. It started dragging me underwater. So I got free and I took off my shoes, got out of the water and everything like that. And it's like, you're hearing like, do dolphins have sex drive? Then there's a NASA experiment where there was a scientist that was living with a dolphin inside of her house. She filled her whole house with waist high water, and it was to get like dolphin, like hormonal, some type of research that was going on. She eventually was like having sex with the dolphin. You want me to pull up? I can pull that up.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm done Google searching.
It will get you really on a watch list.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a balance for that watch list. Like, I wonder what the actual key. Oh, that's the best thing to Google. What words will put you on a watch list? I don't use this computer anyway. Hey, if anything, if I'm on a watch list, maybe they're going to check out my shows. And if you're listening out there because you came across me from a watch list site that checks IP addresses, thank you for your listening. It really bumps up my analytics.
All right, let's see here.
Sorry, my computer's.
8 ways you can end up on the FBI watch list. You associate with a known terrorist. You participate in terrorist activities. You're suspected of planning crimes such as assassinations or hostage taking for terrorist ends. You've destroyed property and damaged computers used by financial institutions.
Next, can you Google who searches or who has searched up like terroristic actions on Google?
You've committed violent acts in an airport.
What's a violent
You've
act?
fighting
Bringing a
someone.
shampoo over 6 ounces or something like that?
Yep, totally violent. Especially if it's you don't have any conditioner. You've engaged in any activity dangerous to property or intended to influence U.S. policy through.
Hang on. All right, I don't know if I could say this because I guarantee you'll get taken off YouTube for it. Words that will get you put in Facebook jail. I just wanted to start a list of words or phrases that will get you put into Facebook jail. Number 1, can you guess it?
Number 1 would that just be the good old F word?
No, it's evil Christians. Not all Christians are good people, said states. There's a section of, I got to pull it up. Hang on.
Yeah, bring it up. This sounds way more interesting than this terrorist list I'm looking at.
We can go back to that. We'll put a pin in it. They'll probably put a bomb in it. Hang on. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Evil Christians. Not all Christians are good people. There's a section of Christians who are not good people. They could even be called evil people. But if you refer to this section of the Christian population as evil Christians, you will be flagged for hate speech and put in Facebook jails. That's the second one I can't say. Again, talking about a subset of the population, as with any group, there's a section of gay culture that are just, well, how does one say it? I'm not going to say that because that'll get you. That's bullying. And I get why that puts you. But white trash, is that bad? Because we recently did a celebration for my uncle, and he had a patch on his old shirt that he used to wear, his painter shirt, and it said white trash on it. And he had a bunch of cool like biker patches and all this. He's that type of guy, you know. I mean, to be 100% honest, at this celebration, it was amazing. I really loved it. But out of like the 90 people that were there, there's probably a total of like 30 teeth. Like, to be 100% honest, like it might be a bad joke, but that's what it was. But I don't see how white trash would land you in Facebook jail. It's a common one. Apparently, you can no longer say white trash on Facebook. I just had a friend of mine get put in Facebook jail. I just feel like see, the weird part is with these algorithms, boys stink will get you put in Facebook jail. Oh, it's gender biased Facebook bots. Men are trash. That's a lie. I know so many people I graduated from high school with that are like, this guy, men are trash. I just can't do it anymore. I'm like, okay, sorry. I'll try better next time.
Men are trash, though.
Sometimes we can be. I don't know. If he takes you to an Olive Garden, he really cares. Let's just say that.
That's right. Unlimited breadsticks and salad. Yeah. Okay, what do you want?
You can't beat it. I mean, is that where would you go on a first date? Where'd you go on a first date for your wife?
We actually met on a cruise ship. Our first date, I suppose, would be getting pizza at midnight at the restaurant on the boat.
Oh my God, the love story that you tell your kids.
Woo! They don't want to hear it.
Okay. I always like that type of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't go on a cruise though. It's not my cup of tea.
Well, I was on the cruise because my sister was getting married, and it was like a destination wedding thing.
Okay.
And she was on the cruise with some friends on a We Hate Men thing because they were going through divorces and stuff like that.
Did you ever go to your high school reunion?
No, I haven't.
Is it coming
I
up?
feel like now that they've come and gone, I don't know when the next one is.
Wait, they do it every 5 years, right? Or is it every 10?
It depends on who's trying to put it together, you know?
Okay. Because I've heard like people do it every 2 years. I'm like, that just sounds exhausting.
Well, now that I think back in the day when you had no way to communicate with anybody, it was kind of more interesting. But now, like the social media, anybody that you wanted to keep in touch with, you can see what they're up to right there. The excitement of going back and seeing what everybody's been up to is kind of lost.
Well, it's to brag, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you should show up in a astronaut suit. You should be dressed as an astronaut when you go to your.
Well, there's a lady that just started training at my gym. She's with a personal trainer, and she's been doing it for like the past couple of months. Gotten in really good shape, and I was like, So what was it like? Did you just have a recent like come to God moment of like you need to get your life on track? Usually, like when someone has someone close to them or someone that they know about that's the same age dies or something, they start analyzing their own life and that type of thing. And I asked, I was like, so what was the sudden change in your idea of like wanting to get fit and all this type of stuff? I mean, she looks smoking. You wouldn't be able to tell that she was a mom and everything like that. And she goes, well. I'm going to my high school reunion coming up and I wanted to kind of, show off and be better than everybody. And I was like, well, thank you for your honest answer. That's just I get it now. I mean, cause I think, but you don't know that you're in bad shape though. Like that's the thing is like, unless you've seen like pictures of people from like high school, and I've seen a lot of my friends on Facebook that post up pictures and stuff like that. They don't look that good compared to what they did in high school. Cause you stop doing sports and all that and get out of shape a little bit too. I actually got better out of high school. Surprisingly, as much as I'm probably a 5 on the rating scale, maybe like a hard 6 or a soft 6.
Come on. Right now, those guns and stuff, easy 7, easy 7.
But
7 up. What's up,
okay.
7 up?
7 up, 7 up, 7 up, 7 down. But I think a lot of the time you're really just trying to show off, and I don't think you understand what you like. You might have a lot of people have inflated perspectives of themselves. I do at times as well too, but I try and give myself rag on myself a little bit so I can keep the ego down. A lot of people just want to show off their success to other people too. And I'm just like, man, a lot of the times you're just like high school reunions just seem like a showboating contest to me. Like
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's not. I don't like that.
Anybody that was worth keeping in touch with, you've kept in touch with.
Yeah.
Or maybe you didn't and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, let's hang out and go to one, reconnect and move on.
I just don't want to be reduced to like those people that are pulling out their high school yearbook and they open it up and there's just red X's over everybody's face. You're like, what the hell are all these red X's for? Like, well, these are
the people I'm gonna kill.
Oh no, these are the people that are no longer with us.
Oh, I thought you were gonna start like handing out like tickets to your island.
No, because I have a friend.
The tiger infested islands.
I had a friend that was everybody keeps getting cruise invitations and then we never see them again. That's why I don't like cruises. But I had a friend that he had a yearbook and he was crossing out people that he was only 2 years ahead of me. But a lot of around the time when I was in school or heading out of high school, we had a lot of people dropped from an opioid addiction type thing. It was a big thing in my town. And he had red X's over people's faces. And I was like, what the hell are all these red X's? He's like, these are the people that are no longer with us. And I was just like, why are you crossing out their names in red X's though? He goes, because they're not here anymore. And I'm just trying to watch how my class just dwindles to nothing. And it was like something that really shook my core. Where I was like, damn, life is born.
Dark.
Well, life is born in a second and then it's gone in an instant.
Man, that's dark.
Yeah, you
Even for me.
Just draw on your jeans. You got blue jeans on or jeans people drew on?
I got blue jeans on. They're not drawn on though.
That's a weird thing in itself too. Having people sign your class T-shirt, signing a yearbook. What are you gonna write in there? What are you gonna write?
Good luck next year. Good luck next year.
You graduated, so what's going to happen next year?
College. Yeah.
What happens if you're not going to college?
Oh, good luck. Good luck at McDonald's. Oh, that's what I should have written on.
That's what they say too. Good luck at McDonald's. Now you actually might be making bank at McDonald's. They're paying you like $20 an hour.
Right, with a 15 grand sign-on bonus if you stick around for 90 days.
What? I was like, holy shit, what?
Some of them were doing cash incentives if you stay, like when they were really like understaffed and trying to get people in there. They were doing like if you're here for 90 days, you get blah, I
was about to say, why for 15 grand, I'll make sure the goddamn ice cream machine's working.
Goddamn, those fries are so perfectly crispy.
I just watched there's a video of a person. I guess if you put ice in the deep fryer, it like overflows and it starts going like insane. Like don't do it. It's going to cause like a huge disaster. And a guy was
ice in the deep fryer. Okay.
A guy literally was at work and it was a TikTok video. He's like, just got to work and this shit's going on. All the deep fryers are just overflowing. And he's like, I'm about to leave this bitch. And I was just like, this is what nobody cares anymore. Everybody's hiring. There's this idea that everybody's looking for jobs.
Deep frying the ice. Oh my God.
Hold on. You can't watch it and then people not see it.
Oh, it overflowed. Fire alarm's going off. hot grease across the floor. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to pull it up on air. Deep fryer overflows. When food is dropped into hot oil, the moisture in the food rises to the surface to evaporate. This causes characteristic.
I just did ice in the deep fryer. The guys, you can see the guy starts taping it like, oh wow, look at that. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I gotta run.
Guy at work. I wish I need to get a keyboard separate so I'm not freaking sticking my face up. Guy at work. Oh yeah, dangerous tick. What dangerous rising TikTok trend sees fast food? Why is it a trend or
destroying the restaurant?
Dude, this is what happened with all those kids in school where it was like just tear apart the bathroom. Did you see that? Like people were stealing.
Yeah,
toilet
that
seats.
one, or or the milk crate challenge.
That was stupid, dude. That was probably one of the dumber ones.
They break a leg doing that, then I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, what's the point?
You can go to the same hospital the Tide Pod people went to. You have fun with that.
Hey, man, don't be like that. We're a positive show.
That's right.
We're a family show.
That's right. We got the new Blank Island. Come on over to Blank Island.
It's going to be a Mr. Loads.
Oh, so slow.
Because my computer's trying to run Zoom at the same time trying to load a video.
Is it panting?
It is. My computer sounds like it's about to explode.
What is this? What are you trying to load here?
Me.
And a little thing spinning around for the next 30 minutes.
Maybe it's just Newsweek. Maybe that's how they get you to subscribe. Maybe once I said their name, they'll be like, oh no, that's copyright claims. Don't do that. Why is it? What is it doing? Is this an ad?
What?
Being a cartoon TV show is a TikTok trend. Well, if you made it this far into the episode, we appreciate your patience.
Hi, I'm a guy.
What the hell is happening? This is not what I want. I'll back out.
YouTube. Just type in ice in deep fryer.
There it is. Shocking video of McDonald's employee burning hand. Oh my God, he's burning his hand. Why did I click it? We're going to watch it.
What are you doing, man?
Deep fry his hand.
You're going down the rabbit hole.
Finger licking good.
You don't stick your hand in the deep fryer.
I don't think he did that. I think he just fell. The agonizing moment a female McDonald's worker slips and falls onto a bucket of boiling oil. Oh, is it peanut oil? I want to talk
She's
to that
allergic
oil.
to peanuts.
I want to talk to that oil and see. Dude, if this doesn't load in the next 5 seconds, why is there giving me 2 videos?
3, 2.
Hey, favorite stepmom.
1.
You want a shirt that lets everybody know?
How bizarre.
So why does your credit card have an annual fee? I could do this ad so much better. Discover card.
There you are. That was you.
What, the pug?
No, the guy dancing.
Oh. Woo! 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 Oh my God. What is she doing? Oh, she's still burning too. That's like the scariest thing. It's kind of like when you I don't even know how to say it. You know, like when you spill hot coffee on you, you kind of just have to do the and then just do that dance type thing and pant like a dog in heat. That's all I got. Jay's looking at his computer and Googling very vigorously is the word.
You ever wondered what actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape?
Oh, shut up, ads. Anyway,
Yeah,
I was going to see if we
I'm about to say, I know what they do when they get in shape. They
call you.
No, they go and get surgery, cosmetic surgery to fix themselves.
They paint 6-pack abs on their stomach.
You know, that's crazy. They used to like be like, oh, this, like Adele, when she lost weight, everyone turned on her. Like, don't you want your celebrity, your heroes, your people that you idol? But like, no, you're no longer fat anymore. We don't like you. And it's just like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
people are terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, can I say that? Am I going to get Facebook blacklisted for saying people are
As
terrible?
long as you don't call
No, because
them.
I said all people. I didn't
Yeah.
pick a group. I just said all people are terrible.
But if you
I'm
say
good.
anything about Trumpers, you're just, it's okay. It's up there.
About trumpets?
Trumpets. I like saxophones. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Jay, where can people find you?
People can find me social media. Type in Jay Moores, JAYMOOERS. Thanks to my last name being spelled a little funny. There are no other Jay Mooreses. You can find me on Facebook that way. Instagram. I guess I have a Twitter out there that I never use. You can also go to my website, EdenParkTales.com, or type in even the game Fae, which is my new game, which should be all over the place soon. Or just check out the podcast here, and then you'll find me on here too.
I want to see you when you get like big and famous and rich. I want you to have a hat for every day.
Okay.
But you need to have at least 30 hats. So that means it'll be a whole month of hats.
I probably have about 15 right now.
Why?
I can switch this up. Want me to switch hats right now?
Do you have one? Do you have a fedora? I like that hat a lot better. You just look like you're ready to tattoo somebody. Oh, he's got a pirate's hat. No, go back to the newspaper boy hat.
Ahoy there.
You're gonna be judged by people for wearing a pirate hat. Because you're being offensive to pirates.
Well, I love pirates.
Okay. Tell me a pirate joke.
All right. What's a pirate's favorite socks?
He doesn't have his peg leg.
Argyle. What's his favorite fast food restaurant?
Arby's. I knew that one.
Okay. They didn't say it right though.
Arby's.
There you go.
Look
at your bandana. Bandana.
My buddy Kelly, shout out to him. He's the one that told me, you know why the term shiver me timbers exists?
And why is that?
Because back in the day, they used to have cabin boys. And what cabin boys would do when the captain would come in, the captain would shake his pants and say, shiver me timbers. And the reason why you got the hook hand most of the time was that you see like a young pirate with a hook hand. It wasn't because they got it bit off or something like that. It was because if you would refuse to shiver the captain's timbers, then he would chop your hand off because you're sure as hell not going to shiver your own. So never go on a cruise ship is my main point in that.
Woo, okay.
Can you imagine if I don't trust the guy. They can't be steering the boats by themselves. They have to have like autopilot, like airplanes. That's not the pilot. You would be scared if the pilot came on the air and said, attention passengers, this is going to be me flying this airplane. You're like, holy shit, what the hell are you talking about? He'd be telling me every single flight I've been on from San Francisco to Arizona to Seattle to whatever. It hasn't been an actual person flying the airplane. I'm going to take over the reins of this aircraft. You're like, oh, you'd be scared.
We're going to do a loop-de-loop. Here we go.
That's the thing is like, you would be scared if the pilot hopped on air and was like, hey, I'm going to be taking over this aircraft for this flight. You're like, what? What are you talking about, man? Like, let the plane do it most of the work. You know, you just got to worry about landing and hitting the proper buttons. That's it. Don't leave me in silence. Just say something. All right. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Out of the Blank. It's been a pleasure. Jay, you're awesome. Appreciate it.
Been awesome. Awesome again.
All right.
See you later.
I need to see you walk out the door for me to end the show.
It's locked. No!
All right. Thanks everybody for listening.